What are some ways people, especially people with addictive personalities, can find positive ways to focus?
Oh, boy, that's been a real issue for me. I think, well, people who are hyper creative, we spend more time out there than here. And what I have found for myself, the most grounding thing I do, and I speak about this often, is to have patterns that develop into habits. When I get up in the morning, I do certain things every day. I'll do these things for about a half an hour because I ain't awake. No, I was always a morning person until Tom and I met. Then poof, overnight, the time fairy said, nope, no more. So I need time to return to human form. And then about 3 o'clock, I'll sit down, have a cup of coffee, and, do this and that. There are things I do. At 7 at night, I go down to the gym and I do a very heavy workout for an hour and 20 minutes, something. It's just I have developed habits, and that's the only thing that saved my ass. I'm serious. Otherwise, I am so out there and so lost in thought that I can't make it real. So you're going to have to find a way to make it real. Your emotions are your feeling nature. They're how you connect to the next world. They're precious and they're important. Now, my husband has emotions. We all have the same emotions. But when he looks at something, he's looking for a solution, usually by military standards, law enforcement standards. And he has no problem finding that. I'm like, okay, here's number 45. 46, I'm going to think of that in a minute. And he looks at me like I have a horn growing out of my forehead. Silly. Why can't you see that? Because I'm so busy thinking of the options, of the other realities. So we all have all of those qualities, his and mine, in us. But what kind of person are you? And who do you need to have in your life to help you? I have a friend who got married at a very late age after having a really awful marriage. And he said, I've met this woman, and I'm not going to say their name, but she feels my emotions for me. Now, this
Mm.
guy had been a tax accountant. He thought, and I think women do. Women and gay guys, we feel more and we express more. It's neurological, it's emotional, whatever. And I sit around and discuss this a lot with Tom. He has the same emotions, but he doesn't look for the outlets that I do. So, what kind of person are you? This is why taking psychological tests can be fun. By getting an astrology chart, numerology chart, what works for you? There are a lot of disinherited folks out there that don't know what to do with themselves because they have been invalidated by greater society. Now, let me defend that for a minute. We have to have rules in society, and they're different than they were in, say, the 1700s, because the way we live changes. You need order, you need rules, you need structure. Are they all right? Hell no. But they're there. And as I've said, if I went out and I'm wearing a cape and a top hat and weird shoes, hello, you don't do that. And when you dress, you're not dressing for yourself if you're going into a meeting. You do that to honor the overall energy field, the higher power of the business or the meeting. You can honor yourself that way, not by looking hoity toity. That's it. But you know what I mean. But you also can do that in your mind during the day when you become your beloved and when you treat yourself with the same beauty and dignity you'd want to treat a child or a pet or somebody you really value. And that will set the Matthew effect into work. And it is work. To try, you are working. It'll say, I am putting energy into this particular room. I just opened this door. and I'm walking in. And there's a lot in that room, but I don't know what it is till I walk in.
So in that way, without trying, we don't know what will come next. We have to put our energy into it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a magical thing. I can't say, I don't totally get it. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, counselor. I'm a research analyst in psionics. I simply spout this stuff out, hoping that it'll affect someone in a way where they can change their own life. And that's why I say, don't believe a damn thing I say. How does it feel to you? What do you think? What do you think? Certainly, I hope you're inspired by a few of the things that come out of my mouth, because a lot of these things I get from higher power or somewhere else. You have to become who you are by being who you're not. And when you are uncomfortable enough, you will change.
Some people have to get awfully uncomfortable. I know I've been there.
Well, who hasn't? Oh my God. Life is uncomfortable. It's crazy when I think about growing up, and I joke about it, the hoity toity society of Birmingham, Alabama. And I never fit in. I was always weird. I never looked right. I never acted right. I was always saying things. They weren't rude. They were just, somebody would say something and I'd go, well, that's because. Was I right? Not necessarily, but I just didn't fit in. So I had to learn over the years a certain graciousness that, hey, you don't say everything you think. You don't. So I was berated in a way that I probably should have been, in a way, because the society this wonderful, wonderful society that I grew up in, I didn't fit in for many reasons. Part of it was I'm just different in that way. And part of it was my parents are trying to teach me, try to fit in a little bit. It's not going to kill you. But I didn't know who I was. And that's the key. So I had to learn to be who I am by being not who I was. And I was uncomfortable because I didn't know who or what I am. Mom would always say, and she was the queen of aphorisms. I should have put that on her tombstone. She said, you can only be yourself, and it's going to take you a lifetime, but to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. And I didn't figure that out till I was about 60 years old. I didn't. So some of the things that have caused you angst and problems growing up, sometimes those are the messengers from the gods. You see what I'm saying? These are the messengers to make you uncomfortable enough to change.
One thing I always find challenging or uncertain on how to find a balance between fitting in, because we have to exist in a world with others, as well as being who you are.
Well, that's constant, because we're really not, as we know, we're not responsible for anybody else's feeling. But you can't go running around just spouting off your true feelings. So it's nobody's business. What you want to do is to watch yourself. Get into a habit and practice it of watching yourself. Watch yourself. This has taken me 70 years, I swear to God, but it works. What I choose to do is when I am in public, and if I'm awake enough at home and conscious enough, God knows, just ask my husband, the minute I leave the house, I see me. I see me being me. And I can prejudge what I'm going to say. When I walk into a store, what am I going to say? Who am I going to encounter? Who am I not? No, because everybody's having a hard time. We're all the same in that way. It's very difficult. Nobody wants to be a pariah or abandoned. We don't want that. But whatever the trigger is that makes you lose your emotions, find out what those triggers are. But you can practice being a little more stoic and reserved to be reticent enough to be able to respond and not react. It's hard. So far, so good. But that took me a very, very long time. Now, y'all also know of all the weirdo stuff that I don't get. There's plenty of that. But that one caused me enough pain and enough heartache in my own life because I love people. I love going out and meeting people. I love that. And I say, if you don't have a weapon pointed at me and you don't smell, I'll talk to you. Maybe then I should really talk to you. But I'm being facetious. I love to talk to people and I'm genuine when I do, when I say, how are you? I really mean that. But that's because I don't attach to what they say. I can hear it and I can let the person know that for a second, yeah, we're there together. And then you leave. You're not responsible for what other people think. And many times with females, we think we're responsible. If they feel bad, if you say, well, it's really snowing out today, and they go, well, that hurt my feelings because I have to drive home in it. Hello, that's none of your business. But a lot of times we attach to that.